Hi, this is Barry here, and you are very welcome to the Digital Creator Kickstart. So, congratulations for signing up. Thank you for giving me your trust and your time. And what we are going to do over the next 5 days is we are going to create your first digital product. Now, this video today isn't complicated. In fact, we're not going to actually make anything at all. What we're going to do in this video is we are going to talk about you. And we're going to talk about what's going on between your ears right now. Because although maybe you've signed up for this challenge and you're going to follow me over the next 5 days, you're probably having doubts. You're probably telling yourself things like these. Can't do this. I'm not an expert. Who would buy anything I make? This is going to be tough. People will laugh at what I make. No one I know makes money online. I'm not clever enough to do this. Now, the reason I'm bringing these up is because these were the excuses and the nonsense I had going on in my head before I created my first digital product. I told myself, I can't do this. And what I'd say to you is, if you have that doubt in your mind, is just to think back to your earlier life. At one point, you couldn't walk. At one point, you couldn't talk. You couldn't feed yourself. You couldn't go to the toilet. You couldn't tie your shoelaces. You couldn't ride a bike. You couldn't drive a car. And at moments in the past, yes, there were times when you couldn't do those things. But right now, hopefully, you can feed yourself, walk, talk, ride a bicycle, drive a car. And that's because you've pushed yourself through that doubt. And that's what I want you to consider, is that if you want to do this, you're going to have to push through that doubt. And when you actually get over this hurdle and you've created your first digital product, you're going to look back and realize, you know something? I was wrong. I didn't think I could do it, but I could do it. And that's what I found when I created my first digital product. I kept putting it off, thinking to myself, well, I can't do this, I can't do it, I can't do it, I can't do it. And now that I have done it, I look back on that and realize that was a stupid thing to think. Now, another thing you're probably thinking to yourself was, well, I'm not an expert. I am Joe or Sally Nobody. So, who am I to think that I can show up today with a digital product that someone is going to be interested in? Now, again, I bought into that stupid excuse or that idea that, I'm not good enough. And I'm here to tell you that experts come all different levels. If you look at maybe someone who's never driven a car before and they get into a car with somebody who can drive a car, they probably see that person as an expert because they can do the thing that they can't do. But I want you to take that normal kind of average driver and I want you to stand them beside someone who maybe drives NASCAR or drives Formula 1 cars. Now, that person that you looked up to, that normal average driver, standing beside that NASCAR driver or that Formula 1 driver, how much of an expert do they look then? So, expertise kind of comes on different levels. We believe that, our expertise means that, well, we need to have a PhD. We need to have letters after our name. We need to have gone into university. But that's not the case. The digital product that you are going to create is going to be people who are behind you. People who don't know the things that you do. Maybe people who haven't got the courage. Maybe the digital product you could create could be something like what I'm doing right now, is giving somebody some belief in themselves that they can take action. So stop buying into the idea that you're not an expert. Stop thinking of the people who are way ahead of you and think of the people who are behind you, the people who are confused, the people who are lost, the people who would love to have the knowledge, advice, life experience that you have, and think about those people instead. Look behind you. Stop looking forwards. Now, you may say to yourself, well, who would buy anything I make? Again, I taught that. When I wrote fiction books, I'm thinking to myself, well, I'm coming up with this idea that I've made up in my head. I'm going to take it over to the Amazon Kindle store. I'm going to try and sell this idea and expect someone to, pay for an idea that came out of my head. My daft storyline, my daft characters, my daft book. Who the hell in their mind would actually pay me cash for something that I made? Now, I found people will pay you because people have paid me for my fiction books, people have paid me for my coaching, people have paid me for my digital products, and it's going to be the same for you as well too. What you need to realize is you need to think about the people behind you. You need to realize that people right now have problems. They need advice. They need to get out of the hole that they're in, and if you can give them that information in a nice, tidy package, they're going to pay you for it. Now, the more valuable that information is to them, the higher and the more money you can actually charge them for it. Now, you're probably thinking to yourself, well, this is going to be tough. Again, if you come at this with this mindset, yes, it will be tough because you're going to focus on all the tough bits. Now, I'm going to try and make this series of videos as simple as possible. I'm going to make it idiot proof. And I'm going to make it so simple that you will believe in yourself that this is possible. Now, you're probably also going thinking, well, people are going to laugh at what I make. Again, I know that because that's how I felt. I felt people would laugh at my books. People would laugh at me talking in a podcast. People would laugh at me in videos. People would laugh at my products. And I realized I was stupid. Because what I did when I wrote those fiction books and put them on the Kindle store was that people actually liked my books. People were actually asking me, well, Barry, when's book 2 coming out? I've had people who love my podcast episodes, who watch loads of them or listen to loads of them. I've had people who watch me in videos. You know, when I put a couple of videos on YouTube, I was paranoid, saying, well, people all over the world are going to slag me off by how I look and how I talk, and I didn't find that. Yes, you will find the odd joker, the odd person who's got too much time on their hands that's trying to bring you down. But you're going to find that if you focus on the people that you're helping and keep your focus on them and disregard everyone else, no one else really matters. You know, why should you pay attention to the people that you're not helping? Why should you pay attention to the people who are criticizing you and trying to bring you down and make fun of you? You know, it's like somebody being on a football team and when you score a goal, running up to the opposite end of the pitch, standing in front of the other supporters and expecting them to celebrate with you for you scoring a goal. What you need to do is you need to celebrate with your own fans, the people that you're trying to help. And you're going to find that they're going to give you a lot of support, they're going to cheer you on, and they're not going to laugh at you. They're actually going to ask you, well, when are you making your next product? How can you help me more? So stop focusing on the wrong people. Yes, there will be people who laugh at you and try to bring you down and tell you that you're not good enough. But that's because you're focusing on the wrong people. Turn your head 180 degrees in the opposite direction and focus on the people whose lives you are going to change. And yes, you will be changing lives. That probably seems ridiculous. It probably seems stupid. But I'm telling you now that you can make a huge difference in someone's life with the knowledge that you have. Now, you may know no one who makes money online. Again, I knew no one go back a couple of years, I knew no one in my family, in my street, in my neighborhood, in my town who made money online. And just because you know nobody around you, it doesn't mean it's not possible. It is possible to make money online because I've done it many, many times. And again, you may be buying into this idea that I'm not clever enough to do this. And again, that's because you are thinking of the people who are ahead of you. Yes, there will be people who have got more knowledge than you. There will be people who are better looking than you, who are more attractive, who have a bigger following. But stop focusing on the people who are ahead of you. You know, we kind of get into this comparison game where we always compare ourselves to other people. But do you ever notice that we always look forward at the people who are beyond us and we kind of compare ourselves to those people? You know, we never stop and, again, look 180 degrees in the opposite direction and look at the people behind us. Look at the people who aren't as well off as us. The people who maybe aren't as attractive as us. The people who maybe haven't got as much knowledge as we have all the abilities that we have. No, we don't do that. We look forwards and we kind of, compare ourselves to everyone else who's better than us. Now, you're just as good as anyone else. So don't think that you're not clever enough to do this. So what I want you to do as you kind of leave this video today, I want you to have these 3 mindsets in place. I want you to think progress over perfection. Starting now and polishing later. Because what I want you to do is, I want you to think about your first digital product. It's probably going to be the best one that you're going to create right now. But it's not going to be the best product you're going to create in a month from now, in 6 months from now, in a year from now. You know, I could make this video as perfect as I can, but I know for a fact when I come back in 6 months, when I come back in a year and listen back to some of the things I say here, I'm probably going to cringe. I'm probably going to say, well, Barry, you should have explained that a bit better. You should have said that and you could have done this and could have done that. But right now, what I'm doing is I'm focusing on the best video that I can make right now with the version of me right now. And that's what I want you to think about. I want you to think about you making the best digital product with the version of you right now. And I want you to think about the phone companies. You know, if you look at the Apple iPhone, do you ever notice that when they release a new phone, it's never perfect? They always come back with another model maybe a year or 2 later that is an upgrade, where it has maybe better software, better, hardware, but the phone works better. It's give you more functions. It works faster. And, when we look at maybe the iPhones that are out right now and say, wow, these are amazing. But just go back to the very first iPhone and see how clunky it was. See how slow it was. See how limited it was and how great it was. But at the time, we thought it was wonderful. So if the people who are making phones are constantly going back again and again and, upgrading and updating and making it better, you're going to be like that as well too. So whatever product you make right now, it doesn't mean you can't go back in a year from now or, a month from now or 6 months from now and actually go through that product again and make it better. So your product right now could be version 1, but you can come back in a month from now and you can do version 2 of it, version 3 of it. And every time you do, it gets better. And I want you to keep this mindset of being capable of learning, because your skills are going to grow from your experience. What I found is you can watch all the videos, you can read all the books, you can listen to the podcast, you can do all that, you can fill your head with knowledge. But if you're not putting the knowledge into use, it's just taking up space on the hard drive between your ears. And right now you mightn't have many skills. Right now you mightn't have any experience, and right now you might be saying to yourself, well, I can't do this because I don't have the skills or experience. You're going to find that as you are actually taking action, you are going to actually learn a lot more about the process and about yourself by taking action. When I think back to when I wrote my fiction books, I read lots and lots of books on how to plot books, how to create characters, how to come up with storylines, how to do this, how to do that. And I was just filling my head with knowledge. Now at the time, I wasn't writing any fiction. And then when I did actually start writing fiction, I realized that all the knowledge I had wasn't even useful to me. A lot of the things that people were talking about were problems that I didn't have. I found that maybe some of the knowledge I was using wasn't stuff that worked for me. I needed to find my own path. And I actually found I learned more about fiction writing by actually setting my butt in the seat every day and writing fiction. And you're going to find that as well too with creating your digital products. You are going to learn far more on the job by making mistakes, by learning from those mistakes, and by improving yourself a little bit every day. You are going to get better and better. So don't hold yourself back because you're saying to yourself, well, I can't do this. You're going to learn over time. Your skills are going to get better. Your ebooks, your videos are all going to get better the more times you do it. So what I recommend is throwing yourself into this now, getting as much experience as you can in a short period of time. If you only write one ebook a year, compared to maybe somebody who writes maybe one ebook every week, can you imagine the difference between you and that other version of that person? That other person is probably going to be 52 times better than you because they are taking action all the time on it. So take massive action, learn a lot of things, learn from mistakes, and keep moving forward. And I want you to think about you, that you, your ideas, your knowledge have value, and someone will benefit from you on what you can teach on them. Right now somebody has a problem and they're probably going to Google, they're probably going to YouTube with, looking for an answer to the problem that they have. And that's something right now that you probably already know. It's probably something that you take for granted. It's something maybe that you use every day and you're thinking to yourself, well, because I do it every day or because I have all this knowledge, well, everybody knows this. But I'm here to tell you, not everybody knows what you know. Not everybody has the life experience that you have. Not everybody has been through the things, been through the jobs, has all the knowledge that you have. So as I said, we just wanted to go something simple in today's video. I didn't want to overwhelm you, and I didn't want you to give you so much work to do that you just say, I can't do this, I'm not coming back on day 2. I wanted to start simple. I wanted to make it easy. Now what I'm going to do, if you click on the video below this, I'm going to show you some of the digital products I have created over the years. And I'm here to tell you that these are dead simple. As I said, I'm trying to give you some belief in yourself by showing you how simple this is, that you'll actually take action. So I'll see you in the next video, and we are going to have a look at some of the digital products I have created.